Hello and welcome back to the Quantum Perspective with Jerry,
Cody,
and we are here discussing episode 2 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it's a beautiful day out here, so please excuse some of the background noises. We've got some breezing going on here. But let's jump right into this. So, episode 2 is going to be no different than episode 1, where I'm going to read off some, callbacks, some Easter eggs to certain things, and then we'll get into some discussion. So,
yep.
All right. First thing is the song, "The Star Spangled Man." Remember that song? It was being played in the beginning when John came running out from the locker room, and the marching band was playing it. Pardon me. That song was written by Alan McKinnon and David Zippel, and it was just a callback to that specific song. I think it was more of a fitting song being played for him. I want to say that same song was actually played for Steve Rogers in the first movie, and I'm gonna confirm that, but I believe there was reference to that. Custer's Grove, is a fictional town that John that John lived in the comics, and he wasn't married in the comics, but they gave him a wife in this, Olivia Walker, which was kind of a nice thing to do to keep the storyline going.
Strengthen it, maybe?
Yeah, strengthen the storyline, or strengthen his storyline.
Yeah.
But I kind of figured that was it. He wasn't married in the comics, but that the actual town existed in the comics. Isaiah Bradley. Now, we're going to talk about him later on, but I want to reference that because he was the secret Captain America in the 1950s. In 2003, there was a series called Truth, Red, White, and Black, and it features this Isaiah Bradley taking up some of the Captain America stuff because he was a super soldier.
Yeah.
In the comics, obviously. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with it here, but that he was doing Captain America while Steve was still frozen in ice. So,
yeah.
So, anyways, now in the comics, pardon me, I'm just trying to remember. In the comics, we have some references to them experimenting on the African American population and so on. It's not right. It's not right. I don't care what time frame it is. It's just it wasn't right to do that, especially in the comics there too. But they did, and it is so. But we'll get into more about talking about Isaiah. Elijah. Now, in the comics, in the 2005 Young Avengers comics, he was the leader of the Young Avengers by the name of the Patriot. Now, that's kind of interesting that his grandfather? Elijah was his grandfather. Was super soldier.
Yeah.
Was Captain America.
Yeah.
And he's now the Patriot. That's kind of a nice callback,
I don't know if the super soldier serum's genetic or anything.
What's up?
I don't know if super soldier serum's hereditary.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Is it?
Yeah.
Can it be hereditary? Can it be passed down? I don't know. We do see a character in this series, Lamar, by the name of Battlestar, and we'll talk about that later. But Lamar in the comics he was a professional wrestler, which was given super strength by the Power Broker. Now, we talked about the Power Broker briefly in the first episode about, abilities for the right price. This person can give you abilities for the right price. How? Don't know. It's kind of like an apocalypse thing, give people abilities,
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a whole different thing here. But it's like kind of interesting, We'll see how this plays out here. So, and we'll see how this guy Lamar plays out. But this is who he was. So when John Walker took over in the comics as Captain America, Lamar became the new Bucky. And obviously, I just said he went by the name of Battlestar. That's all I'm going to say about that. So when Falcon, Winter Soldier were going, or Sam Bucky were going to see Elijah, you hear the reference to a kid reference to Sam, the Black Falcon. And it's kind of odd because back when, and it's an homage to this, because I did see that comment actually come up a few times, that it's kind of a callback to characters back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, when they came out with comic characters. It kind of came out as like Black Panther, Black Lightning, Black Vulcan. It's why do they have to do that to African American people? I don't know, but it was a kind of a callback to that reference. And Sam said it nice, because Sam's like, Black Falcon. What if I called you Black Kid?
Yeah.
It's just not right using that terminology on them, or on this group of people. It's just not right. So, anyways, the Power Broker. Now, in the comics, it was a he, Curtis Jackson. And he ran a corporation with a super scientist of Carl Malus, M-A-L-U-S. And they gave super strength to people for a price. And the price was usually indentured servitude, meaning that we're going to give you these abilities, but you're going to work for us for the rest of your life. So let's see how this works out in the comics. In the comics, in the series. I want to see who the Power Broker is in the series. I want to see how close they are to that reference. So that's all for my callbacks or Easter eggs. So let's get into some talking points here. All right. Kind of the fly in the ointment here, or the big purple elephant in the room. Sam and Bucky are still uneasy with each other. We see that when they go onto the plane, when Bucky, catches up with Sam, and they were going. Sam was going on this mission, and Bucky's like, "Oh, I'm going to go with you." So they're on the plane. Sam won't tell Bucky what to do, where they're going or whatever. He just keeps silent. And you got that dynamic that they're playing off of each other here, and I'm just not, I'm not sure how this is going to play out, because it is a dynamic. It is a series about the two of them. Obviously, somewhere along the way they become, teammates. How, where, how, why,
Yeah.
So let's see how their dynamic plays out in this whole thing. But right now they're still uneasy. They had that whole thing in Baltimore where Bucky got arrested because he failed to go to his court-appointed session, counseling session. So now they're in this police station with the counselor there, and she's busting Bucky's balls, and she makes Sam come in with them too. So they want to do this whole dynamic where they're staring. You know, they got to look each other in the eyes. You know, it's like couples counseling type deal.
Yeah.
So they're holding this staring contest, and I mean the doctors call them out on it. But she's like, you got to get closer. You got to get closer. How close do you want them to get? You know, they're right there. You know, they're yeah, but the dynamic is there. You do see it. I mean, they make light of it, but you know, there's a part. You know, there's a dynamic there where they got to do something to change this up, get along. Yeah. How do they get along, you know, with each other? Obviously, they come from different sides of the spectrum, and Bucky is coming from a side where he's been mind controlled for 70 years or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and Sam is just, you know, everyday dude, you know, right off the street. So you got to see how they work out there.
With a wing pack.
What's that?
Sam's an everyday dude with a wing pack.
Yes. So, and we talked about that subject in episode 1, the Flag Smashers, where it's a nice dynamic to kind of flesh out, because they could have this organization, you know, they could destroy this organization and have it come back eventually. So if they need to do a second episode or a second season, they can still play off this.
Yeah, they could do like Hydra. Yeah. Hydra existed within S.H.I.E.L.D. for years. Then they were per se destroyed, and then they come back, you know, and whatnot.
Yeah, right. So I'm wondering, you know, I hope they don't take this opportunity and they just throw it out and say, oh yeah, whatever. I hope they don't do that. So, all right, we get introduced to Carly, which is the de facto leader of this group, and she's running from somebody. Who's she running from? The power broker? You know, does she owe money to somebody? Does she, you know, did she make promises that she can't keep? But they're referencing that, and so what I'm getting at with this whole thing is she has a few fronts that she's fighting on. She's fighting on the fact that, you know, the Flag Smashers, the revolutionary mercenaries, whatever, however you look at them.
Yeah.
Got that aspect going. And then you got the power broker, I'm assuming the power broker. Someone's after her. You got this aspect. Then you have Sam and Bucky that are, you know, they're getting introduced to the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
So she's really having a difficult time with this. So we'll see how this rolls out throughout the series. But this whole reference to Carly, did you notice that that actress was also in the Solo movie?
Yes, she was.
You know, the Star Wars Solo movie?
Yeah.
She was one of the pirates that was at the end, you know, had this ornate headdress, and, you know, takes it off and you find out it's a girl underneath. And I mean, the red hair is really a herring. All right. So the aspect of the power broker, that's a subject that's still pretty muddy. We're not sure where that's coming, but we know this person, whoever it is behind this. So we know that it's a play point for this series. I'm actually kind of interested on knowing who it is. You know, and I touch upon that just because we do see people with some abilities here.
Yeah.
In this series now, we're seeing this. So what did the power breaker give them? Oh, I'm sorry, power broker. What did the power broker give them?
Something.
You know, they got, you know, superhuman strength and all that. As far as I know, the super soldier serum is not there. So Walker, John Walker, he's a cocky Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, really, he's really that. He introduced himself as Captain America. You never saw that with Steve Rogers. He referenced, I'm Steve Rogers, you know, and that's it. He never really said that he was Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, they made him on like the tours, but he never really did that. Now, this guy, I'm Captain America. What?
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm Captain America, John Walker. You didn't see Steve doing that.
No.
So, so I'm like, you know, he gets a cockiness to him. All right, let's talk about this name, Battlestar. Where the heck did that name come? I understand it's from the comics, but it really sounds like a 5-year-old made that name. You know, they're out playing with their friends, and they're like, you know, I'm you know, Captain Underpants or something. And, oh, I'm Battlestar. You know, 5-year-old saying this. You know, coming up with this name. What the hell? I can't, I'm sorry. I can't. I have a big problem with Battlestar. I can't get over it.
It's also not a peaceful name if you're in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you're here to help. Sounds like you're here to blow up someone's house.
Battlestar. Who are you? Battlestar.
Yeah.
It's like, give me a freaking break. Who? It's kind of like, it's a callback to Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, when the guy, he's like, I'm Star-Lord, and the guy's like, who? It kind of comes with that. I'm Battlestar. Who? Yeah, God, they could have came up with a better name.
Yeah.
You know, they really could have came up with a better name. You know, Buckshot or something like that.
What?
All right. We hear that at the tail end that Bucky says that we need Zemo. We need to talk to Zemo.
Yeah.
For Hydra questions. Well, to be honest, was Zemo part of Hydra?
I don't think he was part of Hydra. I just think he's the last one. Well, I shouldn't say last one, but he's the last person to know anything about Hydra on Earth. The Red Skull's still alive.
Yeah.
But Zemo probably is the last agent on Earth, because Gideon Malik's dead. Nathaniel Malik is messed up throughout time. John Garrett's dead. Grant Ward is well dead. Victoria Hand's gone.
Right. And I mean, these are names coming from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, obviously, you know, you reference Red Skull. He's on Boromir. Arnim Zola. He was part of Hydra. He was
one of the base programs of Hydra.
Right. Then you had all the people from what was it, the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
When S.H.I.E.L.D. actually fell.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. I mean, God, what's his name? The Robert Redford character.
Alexander Pierce.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alexander Pierce was a de facto leader, or he was referenced to
one of the heads of Hydra.
You know, the head. Yeah. So, I don't think I've ever heard of Zemo. Well, I've heard of Zemo being part of Hydra in the comics, but in the series, I don't think I've ever heard him reference to that. It's like he was digging around in their private stuff, and
that might be it. I don't think he was ever part of it.
Yeah. I mean, He could have. Well, we know. It's just.
Yeah, no
it's just
one
we don't hear reference to it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much Hydra information he has. We'll see.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Isaiah Bradley. Now, you heard me reference in the callback to the comics and who he was in the comics. And, I mean, is he a super soldier? Did the Power Broker do this or did the Power Broker do this to him? What? I mean, in the series, we see him take an Altoids container and slam it into the wall.
Yeah.
So we have some idea, but he did reference with Sam and Bucky talking to him. They did reference the whole fact of being being part of some experiments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my guess is he is a super soldier.
Yes, and
I mean,
not the same way as Captain America, exactly.
Yeah.
Or Bucky, for that matter.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yeah, so it's like it could still be a product of the Power Broker.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I mean, in the comics, he was the super soldier, and I think they're going to actually try to keep true to the comics for that. I hope we see him fleshed out. I mean, I did read that series, Red, White, and Black, Truth, Red, White, and Black. I did read that series, and it was actually a pretty good series. And it was the reference to being a Black Captain America, and that was actually pretty interesting because I mean, other than having a Captain America, who else is Captain America? Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white person. Pasty white person like me. So it's like, you got a kind of a racist theme there. You keep it to that. So, I mean, it's nice to see a let's tongue in cheek, too, and please, I respect all nationalities, but I would like to see a person of color being a Captain America. I think it's worth it, especially in these days,
Yeah.
So, all right. So yes. Isaiah in the comics, Isaiah went rogue, and we heard that. We heard the reference to that. He went rogue, put on a Captain America costume, took a shield, and went full bore. And then we find out they imprisoned him for 30 years.
Yeah.
Why? Secrets? Come on. Why are you going to lock this guy up? He went out
the first time.
Yeah. He went rogue, but he went out and he saved a ton of people.
True.
And then you're going to put him in prison for that? Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on with this whole thing. Give a little bit more respect to the man. So. Well, that kind of ends my talking points. And you got anything that you want to throw in there?
No, nothing new.
No? Okay. Now, there's something out there. The Flag Smashers have something. Do you think that could be actually the Super Soldier Serum?
There's a possibility. There's a few different ways the Super Soldier Serum could exist.
All right.
There's people who out there could potentially create it.
Right.
Zola had a recipe.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's bring that all down.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that from the top down. X-Time.
Yes.
Did Captain America, Steve Rogers.
Yes.
They ejected him and they put him in the machine. Okay. Then you referenced in Zola.
Yeah.
Did Bucky.
Yes.
Now, whoa. Okay, all right, let's go with that.
Red Skull was created by an early version of
X-Steins.
Stein's
Yep.
Soldier Serum,
But
which
then-
kind of worked.
Yeah. And then much later on that we hear that they were resurrected, Thaddeus Ross resurrected that program, and so he hired Bruce Banner and his daughter to work on the program.
Yeah.
Bruce was working on the Super Soldier program, so that was the last known.
Last known experiment
Yes.
that went horribly wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that very well. But like Blonsky had it, the Abomination had it inside of him.
Yeah, that was a mutation of the Hulk's blood. Yeah.
So, all right. So, continue with the original thought. You know, I know I interrupted you. You were saying that you said there's a few different ways. So someone could have got the experiment.
Yes. Now, this has been done a few different times throughout different TV shows and whatnot. There's a chance that they took someone who was already a super soldier, used their blood and body, and created more. What I mean by that is, if anybody has seen the show Arrow, I'll explain it right now. When in season 2, Roy Harper had the Mirakuru serum in him, which is a similar serum to the Super Soldier serum. What happened was Slade Wilson took Roy, drained him of his blood, most of it anyways, into 12 other people, giving them all individual.
Basically, just taking his blood and just threw it into somebody else.
Basically, and made them all Mirakuru soldiers, which is like super soldiers, literally the super soldiers.
Okay.
Roy Harper did not die from it, but he just had no Mirakuru in him.
Right.
Anything that burnt off a long time ago. But anyways, it created others like him. The same thing could have happened between these Flag Smashers and, say, Steve. Or
Like you're saying, like, you know, there could be a vial of Steve's blood somewhere.
or they used Steve himself.
Right. Well, look at Bruce Banner. What was he doing with was it Dr. Blue?
Yeah.
Or Mr. Blue? He was sending samples, his blood samples out. So, I mean, the Hulk's blood's out there. Technically, Banner injected all this stuff into him, and he just gave too much gamma radiation.
Yeah, that created something else.
So, I mean, there is still blood out there. Pardon that, we got somebody mowing the lawn around us. So, I mean, the concept's there.
Yeah. They could have taken any super soldier and created 10, 20 more.
And there was more super soldiers frozen. We know that in Civil War.
Yeah, all of Bucky's old crewmates.
Yeah. I mean, they could have been multiple sources. Yeah, but that
Could have been Isaiah.
yeah. I mean, that kind of goes into my closing questions. Where did the serum come from? It's like, wow, so we rattled off the whole line as kind of the super soldier, and as far as we know, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, at least certain versions of it.
Right, because they mothballed all of Bruce Banner's tech, and I'm assuming that they didn't really have much left of the super soldier serum at that point in time. And Bruce probably put it all in him, so he was an asset. So, and whatever they had, they put in Blonsky also, the remainder in them.
Yeah.
Armzola's gone.
Well,
He's dead.
More of a dormant program.
Yeah.
You don't want to activate it.
Yeah, and I'm just assuming
Yeah.
that Isaiah Bradley got Arnim Zola's because it's about the same time frame.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, it's the last known super soldier serum out there. So the United States could have grabbed that when they won the war.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. We'll see how much this is. And Eckstein's obviously dead.
Yeah, he's been dead for years.
So his stuff's not getting out. His stuff's not getting out.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm pretty sure all his research was destroyed.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If they made super soldiers, did they get these big machines? Did they irradiate them and all that, like they did to Steve?
Maybe.
So, and I mean, with Blonsky being, the Abomination, I think what happened there was he just, let's call him the leader because that's kind of that was kind of his origin story right there.
Yeah.
From the Incredible Hulk movie. I mean, he injected a lot of Bruce's blood into, Blonsky, made him into the Abomination because we know what happened with She-Hulk. She had a blood transfusion from Bruce Banner and she turned into the, She-Hulk,
Same thing could happen with Thaddeus Ross to create the Red Hulk.
Yep, very much could. So, but, these are my last two questions. It was, where did the serum come from? Since it's out there, since these people are running around. And how much information does Zemo know? Does he have all the secrets?
If it's not all, it's most.
No. So I'm coming out of this episode, there's probably many more questions that you could throw there, but those were my two biggest ones. How much could Zemo possibly, or how useful could Zemo possibly be in this series? And I'm concerned, where does the serum come from? Is it the Power Broker? Is it Thaddeus Ross let it out? It's who has this? Who can make this? It's
a potential of a lot of people out.
So yes, there's quite a few questions out there, but these are my general questions. I don't know if you have any big ones coming out of this. So, all right. Well, I do appreciate you stopping by and hanging with Cody and I as we discuss this series. We are. This is episode 2, or for the Falcon Winter Soldier. This is our episode 2 for this, and I think that this actually went by very well.
Yeah.
And I look forward to finishing the series with you, and we'll, getting into some other ones. We are talking about doing some Mortal Kombat. Maybe we'll do a Godzilla versus Kong. Who knows? So there's a lot of them out there. We watch a lot of TV. So, but anyways, I'm just rambling here now. So, all right. Give a like, subscribe to this video or to this channel. There's a lot of content coming out on this channel. Jerry's Cosplay Minutes, the costume retrospective, and obviously the Quantum perspective. I do have a personal webpage that has my costume work on there. If you are interested, jerrycp.com. Go to that, and I just did a recording on a costume today, and I want to throw it out. I've had some people ask me about my awesome shirts that I wear, the cosplay amateur hour and getting fit for cosplay and all that. I just want to say that the man that made these, Johnny Ruckus, he's a friend of mine. He's a cosplayer in the field, out in out in the wild, out in the field. He comes up with these interesting shirts and stuff like that. This one I got on today is one of his. So go over to ruckustees.com. Trust me, I do not set anything up with them. I'm just giving them a shameless plug. I'm not getting anything in return. So go over and take a look at all this stuff. You can get pins, coasters, T-shirts, whatnot. Every month he has a different design, a different color that they deal with. So go over and see that. But other than that, I think we are done with this episode 2.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Jerry.
I'm Cody.
And thank you for stopping by and hanging with us.